And welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Sharlene Lynch here with us, all the way from Australia. And she's a speaker, and she's also doing like a number of other things, helping people with intellectual property. So, Sharlene, please introduce yourself and your business to our audience.
Hello, amazing humans, entrepreneurs. I just love the soul and the spirit of entrepreneurs. We are definitely dust ourselves off and stand up and have a go. That's what we do. It's very Australian. I love working with all types of entrepreneurs and people that have the entrepreneurial spirit. So even people that have got a 9 to 5 job, but they've got an anchoring to actually move outside of that and build themselves a side hustle. So what I do is I take the genius that is you and create visual representation of that. So what does that look like? That looks like models that explain the journey that you take your clients on, whether that's B2B or B2C. Also, what do they need to go on that journey? So how can we answer the problems that they've got? And then the process, the very unique process that you do that nobody else does, and how do you language that? And then the outcomes that you get for your clients. So we unpack all of that and create basically a pitch deck, a slide deck of 4 models that you can speak to in a space of 5 minutes, or you can actually use it as standing on a stage doing a keynote and speak to those 4 models over a period of 40 odd minutes. So it's a very condensed version of the genius that you bring.
Wonderful. And what inspired you to actually get into this line of business?
Oh, that's a great question. Thanks, Tony. So, 2016, I decided I was going to become a professional speaker. Like, isn't that what everyone decides? So I went and I did a course, and I got my very first speaking gig. And what I noticed is that what people were asking me to speak about was not exactly what it is I wanted to talk about, but they wanted me to speak anyway. So I really had to start unpacking what it is that I wanted to bring to the planet and what does that look like. So I came up with mind shift, the future of mindset. So your mind is not set, it's malleable. So let's stop calling it mindset and stop programming yourself every time. Refer to it as mind shift and let's shift our language. So I came up with a 5 step process and then created visual models to support that. Absolutely loved it. Took my speaking from here to right here because I had my own intellectual property. I had a point of difference and it was very interesting. And we could see how that could fit for different industries. And also, I was able to play it down to take it into schools and speak as well and educators. So I fell in love as a speaker with visual models. And then COVID happened. That C word we don't talk about. So 2020, I was fully booked. And then all of a sudden, come March, I wasn't fully booked and I had to pivot. So it was really easy for me to shift to online because I was already, for at least the 10 years before that, already speaking online. So that was a simple transition for me to move. And I also picked up a lot of extra clients who were very good on stage, but now needed to speak in front of camera. So that's a different animal, a different way to turn up. And then, I had this skill set about unpacking the visual models, and I thought, well, maybe this is interesting for other people as well. And the clients just started to come out of the woodwork. So since 2020, it's one of the main things that I've been doing, both one-on-one and then also in group environments as well, unpacking the gold that's inside of people's brains and articulating that, making beautiful visual models that they can use as a speaker or even when they're pitching or as a proposal document, as a sales brochure. Yeah, that's the story. That's how I got here.
Wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit about speakers, like how easy or difficult it is for someone to actually become speaker? Let's say someone who's like just average or afraid of speaking, or but just has this like need or wish, to become speaker.
Yeah, okay. So that's like, Tony, that's a how long's a piece of string question.
Okay.
So, let's just keep it in context. So, the people that we're speaking to right now are entrepreneurs. Now, as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to speak. You need to be able to communicate. Now, that's even if it's one-on-one when you're meeting someone at a networking event, or you are speaking on a podcast or a summit, or you are presenting to small groups of people, you still need to master the art of communication for influence and authority. So it's a skill set that you need to acquire whether you want to or not. Now, for those who have a burning desire to want to be a speaker, but they just don't know what they're supposed to be speaking about, well, I really believe that you've got the answer inside of you. So you just have to think about it for a hot minute. What are the things that you talk to your friends about all the time? What do you at a coffee shop, if someone asks you questions, what can you talk for ages about in that coffee shop? What are the text messages that you get from friends and family that you answer all the time? Or what are the business questions that you answer? So I think we're surrounded with the topics that we need to cover that we've got our own natural genius for. We just need to give it space and time. And look, my favorite thing of all time is to journal. So, like, it's one of the things that I advocate for my clients. But for me, it's been just so good to be able to see my patterns of behavior, how I think, and the language that I use. And that's what drives my social media. That's what drives my books. I love it. So, I would say sit down with a good cup of tea and have a seriously think about what you want to talk about. The other thing is, talking just for talking's sake, that's really not going to get you very far. So you want to be making sure that you're meeting the market's needs. So what does the market need as well? And how can you intertwine that with what it is that you do, what the market needs, and what your business offers? And how can you put all of those together so that it lands?
So what are the typical results that your clients are getting when they're working with you?
Yeah, great question. Okay. So I've had clients come and work with me and had their first 20,000 VIP client. Yep, because they've got a level of clarity about what they have got, what they bring to the table. They've got a system now of how they're going to deliver it, and they've got assets that support that. So, sales brochures and proposal documents. I've had clients get TED Talks because we've really narrowed down that one disruptive idea about what it is they bring to the table that's different from everybody else. So, a great idea that can be shared. I've got clients that have got keynotes that have gone from the lower end to the higher end, and particularly clients that have been dealing one on one now want to deal one to many. So, they've transitioned that very seamlessly, and a lot of clients that have gone from like psychotherapists and hypnotherapists that work one on one with people in therapy rooms, but now they want to speak basically in corporate, in business, and deliver this into a business environment. They've had great success because now they've got professional assets that clearly explain what it is that they do.
Wow, great. Yeah, fantastic. So, when you actually talked about this first example of a client who got a VIP client of 20,000, and you mentioned, brochures and other things. So you help them, as far as I understand, like you help them actually be able to speak and present, and then also you have the full package. Or can you explain us a little bit more about that? Yeah.
Yes, I certainly can. Thanks, Tony. Great questions. So, if I'm working one on one with you, what happens is they turn up, I ask them a series of questions. So, I've got a background in accounting and holistic psychology, and I'm totally dyslexic. So, I see pictures. I'm ADHD and I'm OCD. So, I'm like a perfect storm. I sit there, well, they sit there, I ask them all the questions, and I build all the information, and then I send it to my team to create their slide deck, to create their sales brochure, to create all of their assets, their videos, and everything that they need that take them through those beautiful models. Yeah. So that's what I do when I'm working one on one. In a group environment, it's different. We go through the process of them learning how to do that and they create it themselves. So that's a great environment to be in if you're unpacking what it is that you're bringing because you're learning the process. So that means that you can duplicate this process every time you've got a new idea and you want to build a new product. So that's great for people who are maybe more embryonic in their business evolution. Yeah. Most of my VIP clients are people that have got runs on the board and they are now looking to, okay, I need to secure this. This is an asset. I need to secure this. What does it look like? And how do I take me from where I am here to the next level there? Does that answer your question, Tony?
Yeah, totally. And on top of that, like if someone wants to actually find out a little bit more about this and maybe connect to you, how they can do that?
Yeah, great question. So I run a masterclass on a monthly basis. Now, it might not be in a great time zone for everyone in the world, but if you register and you can't get in, we do have them sometimes on different time zones for different parts of the world. But they're held every single month, and what you're looking for is expert authority. So, and it's on Eventbrite, and you can see them there. They're also on all of my socials as well, and also my link tree. So, the event is called Expert Authority because what I'm teaching people is how to become an expert authority using these visual models. They also form the structure of your book as well and your next ebook. So, using these, what we find a lot of people when they talk, they go in all sorts of different directions. But by
Mhm.
having the models, you've got now a core thread, and now everything comes from the core thread as opposed to going all over the place. So, it gives that level of clarity that when you language what it is that you do, and also it makes it easier for the audience to know what it is that you do. It basically means more money.
Wonderful.
Just
Yeah. Hopefully, I can share the link with the audience in the description of this episode for the masterclass and some of your other links. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be great. If
Okay.
you're listening today and you're an entrepreneur, we'd love to have a conversation with you what it looks like to become that expert authority.
Wonderful. And also, you mentioned books. Like, is it you wrote those books, or you're reading some books, or? Uh,
Yes. So, well, a lot of my clients are at the point where they need to either write their next book or write their first book. So, creating the visual models creates the spine, the backbone, the bones of either their next book or their first book. Yeah. And
mhm.
then I just take them through a very quick process how they can put that book together very, very quickly. So they've still got to get an editor and a publisher and everything else, but it gets them to a point where they're ready to produce the book. Also, for many of my clients, they need a very quick ebook. So, what I do is take them through the structure of how they can get a very quick ebook, and then I've got a copy team that put that together for them so that they don't have to do anything. Yeah, if they need that. Ebooks are fantastic if you run a business because when someone buys an ebook, you get their email.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're producing a book and it's on a shelf somewhere and someone buys it from a bookstore, you'll never really connect to the person who's purchasing it. So if you do run a business, can I just strongly suggest an ebook is going to be better for building your email list than a book sitting on a shelf at a bookshop?
Wonderful. Charlene, thank you so much for sharing these amazing tips and yeah, and sharing your story. And thank you all for watching and listening to this episode. If you liked it, drop us a like, subscribe, and also if you have any questions for Charlene or me, you can actually ask them in the comments of this episode. So, again, thanks and see you all in the next episode. All the best and bye bye.
Bye for now.